Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Thank you so much for joining us. You can find us on HollywoodMatrimony.com. We're also on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, Hive, and Blue Sky. Hey, babe, say hi.
Hi. Mine's not opening. Hold on a second.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
It's not catching up with itself. I'm trying to...
I need to turn my keyboard
It's
on.
still not telling me we're not live yet.
Well, we just went live, so give it a second.
I did. I've refreshed it like 40 times here.
Did you really, or is it just like 2 or 3?
See, I keep refreshing it. It keeps...
I did.
Finally,
Refreshed
so
it.
dumb.
There's a delay.
Your technology is dumb.
The interweb has a delay.
Don't blame the interwebs for your insubordination.
Okay, I'm sorry. My
Anyway,
bad.
hello. Sorry we haven't been here. It was just last week. We were the week before, weren't we?
Yes,
Did we
2
do an
weeks
all-con
ago.
show?
We did not. So we need to talk about that too.
Oh, that was last week.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Time is different here.
You say time is different here?
We're in a weird time thing.
I guess if you say
All
so.
right. So, welcome to the show. We have a lot to catch you up on.
We don't have that much.
What do you
but
want to?
okay.
You want to do a quick recap of AllCon?
Yeah, so if anybody that doesn't know AllCon, it's a convention we've been doing every year. This was their 20th anniversary. We have attended every single AllCon in the last 20 years. The first year, did you go with me the first year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
I don't remember if you actually went with me though that first year or not.
I feel like
The first year is we went as fans. I randomly found the show. I don't even remember how I found it. I just found it on the interwebs. And it had a couple of Star Wars people that I'd never seen before. So I went over there, very small thing, a little janky hotel that leaked.
Yes.
Second year, I set up as an artist, and she was my table babe. And we've been doing it every year. So this next year will be our 20th anniversary of doing the show as an actual artist, where we do the Hollywood Matrimony and BDG Studios, which is my art table. But it's a 4-day show. It's Thursday through Sunday. It's 24/7. There are many tales of insanity, chaos, inappropriate behavior, drinking, all kinds of things that have happened over the years that we can't all tell here. There have been fights. There have been police. There have been fire departments. There have been hospitalizations. There's been, you name it, something has happened. So this weekend, the last couple of years, we haven't stayed at the hotel anymore. Mostly because most of our crew doesn't go to AllCon anymore. They've either life kind of got the better of them, and they're doing different things. Some of them, some of them kind of just stopped doing shows. Some of them don't set up anymore. Some, because it does cost money to do the show and stay there. So a lot of them just weren't making a lot of money and that kind of thing. So, but we still go. I have one buddy that comes in, Scott, who comes in from Arkansas. So anyway. We did the show this weekend. We had a good time, I think.
I had fun.
Yeah.
Good times were had.
I was there for all 4 days, and this is the first year in a few years that I've actually stayed pretty late. Like you stayed moderately late, but went home.
Yeah.
You stayed like normal people hours.
Yeah, because I have babies at home to take care of.
Yeah,
they need to be fed and get out.
She most times she came a little bit later because it was also rarely does she have any free time because she works pretty much 6-7 days a week. And so she took advantage of being able to sleep in a little bit when she could, come out a little bit later also so the dogs didn't have to stay by themselves. I was out there almost every morning at like 9-10 a.m. And almost every day I was there until about 2 or 3 in the morning. So it was a good long day.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So we don't have a lot of new stuff to report other than we met some fun celebrities. We had some fun parties. I saved the princess on Dragon's Lair. But before she won't let me buy the games.
I'm not saying I won't let you. You can buy whatever you want.
Oh, good. Okay, good. My birthday's coming up.
To do so.
My birthday's coming up. 50 years old. You keep saying it's a big birthday. I should get things I want then.
Okay. Let me know. Anyways, I got to interview and meet. I didn't bring. Where's my autographs? I didn't bring anything.
Oh.
Interview and meet Adasa, who played Dolores in Encanto. So that was a good time.
It was fun too because it was supposed to be a big Q&A in a big ballroom with the stage and chairs, but we didn't have as many people show up. It was Sunday afternoon. It's a slower day.
Last day.
And by her own idea, Odessa's own idea, she got let's go sit with these round tables and make it like this intimate.
We had a round table discussion.
Yeah, so it became this very intimate thing of everybody talking, which I thought was a fun thing for everybody.
Yeah.
And she seemed to be.
She was really nice.
She seemed to really enjoy it. It didn't matter how many people were there. She was just wanted to enjoy it. And Did you feel attached to her because you were Hispanic?
Yes, for sure, dude.
Yours still was better than mine. I was hosting a thing called Costuming Catwalk, which you didn't get to see.
Yeah,
We
I
normally
missed
we do
it.
Superhero Sunday,
Superhero
and she
Sunday.
hosts it, and we have it's like a costume contest. You interview them as their characters. This year they wanted to change it, do something different, so we retired it, and they added this thing called Costume Catwalk, which the idea for it, which I found out finally, we got added to, didn't know what it was, but the idea behind it was for people that didn't really feel like they wanted to enter the contest. They felt like maybe their costume was no way they could win anything because it was handmade or something like that. So it was kind of be a fashion show of sorts.
Yes.
They could come up, they could talk about how they made it or what they did or what they bought. That's all it was going to be. And I had I had 5 people show up, not a single person in costume.
I thought that one family was in costume.
They were there and they left. They left like 3 minutes before we started. The kids decided they didn't want to do it. And so I had 5 people in the audience. I got my buddy to walk across like a supermodel, just across the stage, like all sexy, just for the kill of it. I spent 30 minutes just talking about Alcon and history. I told my Jesus story from Alcon. I told the story about us getting in a fight with the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh my goodness!
I had one guy there that he hadn't been to Alcon in 10 years. This was kind of his return year.
Wow!
So I had everybody tell me their favorite memories of Alcon, whether it was his an older one or this week that weekend's. And so we just kind of shot the crap, and I had these medals.
I love that.
Medals that I was supposed to give out.
I have a medal too. I didn't bring
for participation.
I was not prepared for this show.
Well, I had these medals I was supposed to give out participation. I just gave it to everybody in the audience. I said, "Here, y'all stayed, listen to my nonsense for 30 minutes."
Yeah.
So I told them, I said, I can't do a lot of things, but I can stretch out time with nonsense for a long time.
You're good.
So anyway, but big props to Todd and everybody put that show on. We got to see a bunch of friends that we don't see. Some of these people we only see once a year.
Yeah, for sure.
And every time we see them, it turns into family again.
It's
We're right back
fun.
like we.
And I posted a link in the chat. The dates for next year have already been announced, so make sure you're there. They already have a discounted room block. If you book early, you can get those rooms really cheap and be there all weekend. And you really do want to, because it starts Thursday and it is 24 hours a day until Sunday afternoon.
And if you don't think you can do the whole weekend, Thursday is usually free.
Yeah,
so you can go Thursday
and
get in there. They have a dealer room. It's run like a normal convention where it has a dealer room. It has an artist alley type thing.
But then they have so many activities.
Yeah, you can't.
Video games.
You could stay busy all night.
You could go fly where the Starship Enterprise.
Did you look in there?
It was pretty cool. Yeah, they had like I think it's like playing the ride.
Yeah, they're basically laptops that are set up with one big monitor, and each laptop is a different thing. So like you're the
engineering
weapons.
Whatever.
Yeah. So you
kind
of work together.
That was fun. There's always costume stuff.
They have mini golf.
There's mini golf.
Did they have the Nerf fights?
Games.
Did they have the Nerf fights up this year?
Didn't notice.
I didn't see it.
But
laser tag or whatever.
There's so many things.
But there's
escape rooms.
The what room?
The escape room.
Oh. They had a cool, which we never really got to do other than we were setting up, but they had an full inflatable
whack-a-mole
amusement park kind of thing. So it was an inflatable human whack-a-mole.
Human-sized whack-a-mole.
An inflatable hatchet throw and an inflatable archery.
That was super
Which
fun.
I set up the second night too.
Yeah, I told you to.
So that's a fun little thing to do.
There was a dance. There was a Swifties party. If you're into Taylor Swift, they had all
that was
Swift
new
concert.
This year.
They had a
Labyrinth
ball, and everybody was dressed up as a masquerade ball. There's so many rando things happening that
I was pulled into
shows.
the late night rated R movie trivia competition because our friend Cole runs most of those activities and games and theory section of this con. We've known Cole for Lord forever, longer than 20 years, and he pulled me into it. And you may be surprised to know that I won.
I hope you won movie trivia. I won movie website.
I won like 23 or 28 to. I think somebody had 8. The audience had 8. One girl had 4, I think, and the other little girl that shouldn't have been in there in the first place didn't have any.
Oh, poor thing.
And it was funny. Okay. It was about halfway through it, then Cole then told everybody that Bobby runs a movie website, and everybody's like,
"Boo!"
So,
Boo.
But I want an ET figure, ET and drag.
There you go.
So anyway,
right.
Alcon's awesome. We love it. And what's funny is every year I say that's my last year. I think I'm going to take a break from it. And I get sucked right back in because I enjoy it.
He's not taking a break ever.
I'm not.
All right. I want you to tell me about this.
Well, you never watched it, did you?
Right now, we are going to have, you remember Tina Turner and Rolling on the River? She's like, we're going to start off slow. And then we're going to get rough So today we're starting off slower in our movies, and then it's going to get rough a little
Are you
bit
talking
later.
about the order of what we're talking
Yes.
about? Oh, okay.
So we're going to take it slow.
I got you. So you never did get to watch this, did
I
you?
did not. The link you sent me didn't work.
It did work because you were trying to watch it on. It has very specific. You have to watch it on like your computer. You can't watch it on your little tablet or whatever.
But that tablet is a computer.
It's not a computer. It's a tablet. There's a difference.
When
there
you're
are some
poor
tablets
Mexican
that are.
lady, a tablet is a computer.
Okay, well that's because
I'll try again on
that's
this.
That's because y'all stupid.
Okay.
So the first movie is called Snack Shack.
Tell me about it,
Oh,
stud.
dear God. It's a movie called Snack Shack. That's basically kind of one of these coming of age teen
This
comedy.
sounds like something random that like Howard Stern would watch because he liked that other little series.
Yeah, it's not really I mean, there is some love story element, but
Sorry.
it was really more of like
Snack Shack.
just a teenage coming of age story. It's about these two friends, 1991, that were the best friends. Are always trying to figure out how to make some quick money and whatever. And so they end up getting a hold of the actual local Pool's Snack Shack to run it. And so they basically start running this thing and making a ton of money. It starts going really well. But then there's, of course, a girl. There's the bullies. It's kind of a lot of the general cliche stuff you see in these kind of movies, but it works. You know, they're going to eventually turn on each other because there's money involved. But it's also more.
I was going to say they're going to turn on each other because of the girl.
Well, it's always the girl. I enjoyed the movie. It's kind of a by the numbers, you know, but it's I think what makes it fun is these two guys are pretty fun to watch. But this also isn't it's more of an adult. It's not a bunch of nudity or anything, but there's a lot of cussing. Like they start selling what they call them, forgive my language. They start calling what they call fuck dogs, where they basically sell hot dogs and they're selling them to kids and writing fuck with ketchup. And so they charge like an extra 50 cents for a fuck dog. And people are buying them. And it's like one girl, you know, so that they're very inappropriate in the way they do stuff, but they're doing success. But like I said, they're having to deal with the bullies, they're dealing with the girls, the love triangles, and you know the nerdiness and coming of age. So it's a fun little flick. You've seen this movie a billion times, but have we seen it at the pool buying the hot dogs and all that kind of crap? So it's kind of what it is.
Oh, sorry,
What are you doing?
I was trying to share the page.
You need to
Let
calm
it
down.
happen.
You need to calm down.
Sorry.
Anyway, it's a fun little flick. It's nothing that you haven't seen
It's
before.
not groundbreaking.
No, it is what it is. It knows what it is. It doesn't try to be anything else. But go check it out. It's probably limited release in theaters now.
Okay.
Snack Shack.
Snack
I
Shack.
think it connected more to people like myself who went to pools like that and stuff during the summer. I
You went to
remember those
community
snack
pool?
shacks, and you know, I know you weren't going to community pool because you can't
I
swim.
wasn't trying to die.
And I used to love being able to go over there and buy snacks, and so
no, thank you.
and I think a lot of us thought that it'd be awesome to have that snack shack, man, because you could run and you could have all the stuff, and then you realize how much work it is.
It was actual work.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, snack shacks in theaters now.
All right, sounds good. Next.
What else we got? Next on the agenda.
This one.
Oh, we're gonna do the dual talk.
Yes.
All right, so the
new
next
movie.
one is talking about
Roadhouse.
Now my lovely wife had never seen Roadhouse.
No, where had I been my whole life?
I like this picture you got.
Isn't that nice? That's a good one.
So we decided to watch. Had her watch the new one first, so she had no expectations.
Mm-hmm.
For those that don't know, the original Roadhouse with the late great Patrick Swayze is kind of got a cult following. It's a cheesy flick, but I love it. And
It's
most
a
people
good movie.
most people that know Roadhouse love Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
It's violent. It's very 80s.
Super 80s.
It's super 80s.
Especially with those super high cut panties all these ladies are wearing.
Well, I have long ass. That's
with
what we call them. We call them long ass.
Yeah, with their boobs out and those little high pants. I'm like, woo, okay, girl.
So the funny thing too is I like anytime you get some sort of remake, reimagining, and the new one's more of a reimagining of the original idea. He is playing Dalton. It is still being a bouncer, but instead of him being a well-known bouncer, he's an MMA fighter who's kind of down on his luck, and they hire him to come work. And so he doesn't have the same story vibe as Patrick Swayze has.
Yeah.
If you've never seen it, Patrick Swayze is a bouncer who's like a legend. And so when he comes in, everybody's like, oh, I know who this guy is, and clean it up. She wanted somebody, and I think the person she went for may have in the new one he's played by Post Malone, which is bummed because you got no dialogue. You just see him fight.
Yeah.
But it's never specified, at least I didn't hear, if Post Malone's character was a bouncer of some sort or just a fighter.
I think they were just fighters. I don't know.
So the same idea, but a different take on the characters.
Yeah, and I actually prefer the backstory of the new one because Jake Gyllenhaal's character, there's more depth and reason why people know who he is, like on a larger scale.
Yeah.
Like he'll just come into and be like, "Oh, did you see that fight or whatever?" Like being the MMA fighter does put you up here where people know who you are.
Well, on the Patrick Swayze side is people know who you are, but you're a legend status. You know,
but there's no
but
reason
it's only
as
the people
to why.
but only bouncers know.
I know.
Like other people don't need to know him. It's just in that culture.
I know, but in this one, that's why people are trying to come fight him or whatever.
Yeah.
I just think the backstory on this one made a little more sense for me, not having any.
Well, I think you have to look at it, like I said, is this one. You're right. The people that come to the bar and everybody could know who he is. Right. And the other one, nobody knows who he is except for the people that are bouncers and working the bar. Just like they knew who Sam Elliott was too, because these are bouncers.
I didn't. I was like, "Is this Sam Elliott?"
I don't know how you couldn't tell that Sam Elliott.
I heard the voice, and I was like, "But his hair's not white." But then I was like, "Wait,
this movie's in the '80s, man. You know he was young at some point."
I don't know. I've never seen him young. I mean, he was younger, but
that's the same way he looked in the movie, the Mask movie with Rocky Dennis.
Oh,
he's in that movie, right, with Cher. He's the biker.
No, I just connected it.
He looks exactly the same in that movie too.
Now I have to go watch.
It's funny he became so known for that mustache, and he didn't have that mustache as much younger. He had a beard, and there's a lot of stuff with nothing.
But that's what I was telling. Like, there's something missing on his face.
So as a whole, forgetting the backstory part, before we talk about this new movie, as a whole, which movie did you like more?
Oh,
because you have nostalgia of Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, you gotta love.
And I don't know how big of a Patrick Swayze fan you were.
I mean, we watched that one movie. Was that Patrick Swayze that I woke up in the middle of the night and ate pizza?
No, that's Vertical Limit. That's not Patrick Swayze.
Okay, well, Patrick Swayze's the surfer movie, right?
He's Point Break.
He's Ghost, Waking the Pottery. He's this, and he's
Dirty Dancing.
And he's Dirty Dancing.
And one of my favorite Patrick Swayze movies of all time, I guarantee you haven't seen. It's called Steel Dawn, which is a post-apocalyptic martial arts flick.
I mean, I'm not like a huge fan. I just know those few movies, but
I used to watch his TV series he did too. That he did I don't remember if he was a cop or like a. Anyway,
I like both movies.
He did one season and then he passed away.
I like the other one because it's super 80s. It's very nostalgic feeling, even though I've never seen it. It's like this seems like a familiar type movie that we would see all the time.
Because that was every movie in that time period. Yeah.
I like the new one better because I think there's, like I said, the story is more complete. I like the action and fighting sequences a little better. There's a little bit more to it. I don't know. I kind of like the new one, like this much more than the other.
I'm kind of with you. I love them both, and I love them both for different reasons. I love the original Roadhouse. I've watched it many times. As a matter of fact, I watched it about 2 months ago when I came across.
You?
Yeah, I came across it streaming. I was like, oh, I'm watching Roadhouse.
I'm just gonna watch it.
Middle of the night. Roadhouse. The original Roadhouse is not a great movie. It's cheesy. It's silly, but you watch it for what it is, and you have a good time with it. This new one, I didn't have fear because I don't think Roadhouse is a movie that can't be remade, like a lot of people think. Especially because they made Roadhouse 2, and if you can make Roadhouse 2, you can make anything.
Because you said don't watch
Roadhouse 2. It's supposed to be Dalton's son. It's trash. And I couldn't even tell you why it's trash because I don't even remember it. I know I've seen it. I don't remember a single thing from it.
Okay.
Matter of fact, the person I thought was star of it, I went and looked, I was like, oh, that's not even that guy.
Oh my gosh.
That's how much I remember.
Okay, never mind.
But I love this new one. I thought the story was great. This one had a little more humor to it, but infused not in a way that made it stupid. It kind of organically fit. I think Jake Gyllenhaal is great in the role. Mm-hmm. I do love how much work he put into not only the physique, but the fighting. And I don't know why there's been a lot of people bashing Conor McGregor. I'm like, I thought he was excellent in this movie.
I bet on him during his fight when I was in Vegas.
He fought Mayweather. She goes, is that the guy that I bet on?
I was like, I always go for the underdog. So
yeah, I don't think he was. I think he was robbed in that whole thing. That was just set up.
But anywho, but I thought he did great. He was so funny and over the top, but I think he's kind of like that, right?
He played himself. Flashy. He played himself cranked up a bit. I thought he was fantastic.
He was great.
I loved him in this movie. I love seeing Post Malone get to fight, even though he didn't get any dialogue. It's just like such a random
I was like, that guy looks like that one guy that's the singer with
that
all the
tattoos. That singer.
That singer Post Malone guy.
I said, yes, sir, that's Post Malone.
Oh, I didn't know.
And I love that we're seeing a very non-Post Malone thing.
Yeah.
That's like, hey, here's a cameo fight, and then
Yeah.
get rid of him. I was hoping Post Malone was in the movie more, and he wasn't.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
But I enjoyed this movie. The fights are great.
It was
violent.
Really
they're aggressive. And you get not one but two fights between Connor and Jake, and the story is the same general area, but not the same thing at all.
Yeah.
I really dug this movie. I can see myself watching this movie again.
I would totally watch it again, and it's on Prime.
Yeah,
so
Prime.
We can watch it.
I do wish this got a bigger release. I would love to watch this on the big screen.
It would be cool.
And
we can watch it on our big screen.
Braggart.
But yeah, watch it
if you're on the fence about it, give it a try. Just watch it and know that they were just trying to take the same idea. Yes, they could have taken the story, called it Roadhouse, and made it a different character like Dalton, and somehow that makes it okay for people. But Jake's also was good friends with Patrick Swayze after working on Donnie Darko together years ago, and he was really trying to pay homage to his friend, and he's a fan of the movie. That's so nice. It kind of shows he put so much work into a movie that very well could have easily been a throwaway flick.
Yep.
So I love this movie. I thought it was great.
We hope you liked it too. There you go.
Roadhouse.
It's on Prime. Go check it out.
What I have to do to tell a little funny story is while we're watching it, my wife goes to watch if you don't know, there's a running gag in Family Guy about Roadhouse where he does the kick, the spin kick. Is it the spin kick?
Yes. Every time Peter Griffin does the kick, he's like, Roadhouse.
Does the crescent kick or whatever.
Yeah.
And so when we were watching the original Roadhouse, I showed her, like, look, Patrick Swayze loves that spinning crescent kick. And she goes, there it is. That's the Roadhouse kick.
Mm-hmm.
You're not about to play it, are you?
I'll just post a link.
Okay. People have seen it, but you don't know. Anyway,
I'll just post a link.
Both Roadhouse movies are on Prime.
Yeah.
So you can watch them back to back. If you've never seen the original, I would say watch the new ones. You don't compare, but you also have to know that the original is that 1989, so it's a little 80 cheese, but it's still so good. It's a serious movie, and it's taking itself serious, which is part of the cheesy nature of it.
It's a good movie. It really is. I
it.
enjoyed it. Thank you
for
having me watch it.
And I also didn't know at the time before that movie came out. Well, actually before Still Dawn came out, and I don't know which order I saw him in, but I didn't know Patrick Swayze was a Tai Chi guy. I thought he was just a dancer.
Yeah, no.
And so when that came out, I was like, oh, look at him kicking ass.
All right, we're going here.
Oh, okay.
Y'all, this movie had me all angry.
Next one is called Polar Rescue, a.k.a. Donnie Yen doesn't fight anybody.
He actually gets punched in the face a lot.
So this movie is it's kind of from appearances, it appears to be like an adventure rescuing cliffhanger type.
I don't think that's even in the movie.
Not really.
Okay. It's the same but different.
Yeah, it's Donnie Yen, but he's not a karate guy. He's not the badass Donnie Yen we love. And I hate that from a standpoint of a fandom, but I also understand actors.
As an actor, you want to do something different.
Stretch their muscles and do different things. And I will say, Donnie Yen is fantastic in the movie.
He's really good in the dramatic scenes.
Yeah.
It's about a man and his family who are going on a vacation. Crazy things happen, and his child is missing in a snowstorm. That's all you need to find him. That's what's happening. There's a lot of the complications between that. Family issues.
The movie as a whole is a good movie. Yeah. Initially, for me, there's this very fragmented way of telling stories.
Yeah, because it just jumps at a second and you're like, what happened?
Yeah, I feel like you suddenly just miss an entire section of story, and I thought I'd dozed off or
I thought I missed it.
I thought I was not paying attention on my phone or something. I felt stupid. I'm like, I finally asked myself, dear, when the kid disappears, and when did the kid go missing? And then later on, it jumps back. And so what they're doing is there's kind of a multi-tiered story there. That's the search for the child, the relationship between the child and the father, the relationship with the father, the wife, and the other child, the conspiracy of was the father involved with the missingness of the child, and then is there a kidnapping situation? So there's so many different.
And then it's lackluster police force.
Yeah,
they aren't even trying.
There's all these tiers, and so what they did is they tried to fragment the story to keep you guessing, but it just makes it confusing, and not in a good way sometimes.
At some point, I told you, I'm like, somebody just needs to die or get shot, and let this be over, because it was dragging for a little bit there.
Yeah, it is not the exciting adventure thing that picture makes you think. I honestly thought it was going to be kind of like Cliffhanger. with Stallone kind of thing, where they were climbing mountains and fighting the elements, and
there is that.
Yeah, it's in there, but it's like in the third act, pretty much.
It's just a little disjointed storytelling. It's fine. It's not a horrible movie.
It's a drama, is what
it is. It's a drama. It's a decent movie. We get there in the end. There's just a few, like maybe 20, 30 minutes that I think was a little long.
Yeah, it could have been trimmed down a little bit, and again, they're trying to create this family storyline that some of it wasn't necessary. Some of it could have been chopped up to speed us along and get us somewhere.
Yeah.
They make you right out the gate purposely hate this child that's missing because he's a little shit. But then you start understanding why he acts that way later in the movie.
Yes.
So you're like, oh, well, now I kind of feel bad that I wanted this kid to die.
But not really.
But at the same time, it's like, you need to listen. It's like,
at one point I was like, he's got another kid. He'll be okay.
So
it's sad.
It's a good movie as long as you go into it understanding it's more of a dramatic family story about their issues and their loss and their griefs and their marital problems and life problems. And the police force is kind of hit and miss because you have people that don't believe. But I understood some of their issues.
Yeah.
Because the initial one, the guy was just a douche for no reason. And then it turns into when some new things unfold about how this kind of started. They start blaming him, like, I'm not trusting. He's lying to us. He's just leading us on. So it's like dealing with a murder investigation when you're like, you start thinking that this person killed somebody.
Yes.
And now you don't really want to help them.
Yeah.
So
it's weird.
So that's leading into redemption arcs and all this different things.
It's all gonna happen.
So it's what it is.
It's okay. If you can check it out. I think it's getting a wider release. And or coming on the line. It's coming up, but I'll have it
maybe. But you can definitely go to our website at
HollywoodMatrimony.com
and win a copy of it on Blu-ray because it comes on Bluray this week. So I think it's just gonna be digital.
Maybe I think it's a digital.
Maybe it'll hit Hiya
on the line. Hiya.
Sometimes they put their stuff in there. Anyway, if you like Donnie Yen, it's worth checking out. This is probably one of the movies you get to see Donnie Yen get his ass whooped.
Yeah.
I was joking because this guy punches Donnie Yen and kicks him, and I'm like, oh. That guy gets to be the only guy to whoop Donnie Yen's ass with no retaliation. And then the guy stayed too long. And Donnie grabbed him and hit him back. And I'm like, oh, here we go. And then the guy knocked him down again because he's not a fighter in this movie. So he's not supposed to be able to beat people up.
Yeah.
Anyway, next on the list. What else we got? Polar Rescue. Be available Blu-ray DVD this Tuesday.
I don't want to do two ice things in a row. So we're going ice, fire, ice.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like it matters. But okay.
It does. You guys. This next movie is called Late Night with the Devil.
And it is now one of my favorite of the year.
Did you notice now, since I see the little text, do not adjust your set, did you see at the very end of the movie, the text at the bottom?
I don't remember now. I think I did, but I don't remember now.
Okay. Because it had like something like disconnected, whatever, and then it said something like, it is done. And then it went back to It was just very small in the corner. Not even important. But oh my gosh, you guys.
So this movie is essentially like a found footage type idea. But instead of the shaky cam and digital thing, but basically the idea is you're given a quick recap of this talk show host who's an up and coming late night talk show host who's actually competing against Johnny Carson, which I love. There's an element of thing I love about that. And you're getting to see when he finally kind of was trying to get one last hurrah of ratings, this Halloween show he did, and they're like, this is the episode that aired, and now you watch the episode and you get to see the behind the scenes footage.
Yes. And it goes off the rails.
Yes, and that's the story.
Okay.
So I watched this movie by myself. I had the screening link of it. I finished the movie and I'm like, that movie was fan-fucking-tastic. I loved it. It's creepy. It's weird. It's strange. And I'm like, I know, right? I'm bad today. Sorry. And so I was like, send it to her. I'm like, you need to watch this. I didn't tell her anything about it.
It's like, watch this.
And then she always knows she's in for something because, like, when I leave her to watch something and I say, good luck, and I leave, she's always like, what are you getting me into? And you started it at night.
I started at night, which was a bad idea. And I'm thinking Hatchet Murders or something.
Yeah, you thought it was going to be some sort of a weird slasher thing.
Okay, so basically.
Yeah, the name Devil is in the title.
I know, but. Well, and then so next we're going to interview the lady that wrote about this book, Late Night with the. I'm like, okay, it's a book. Something creepy is going to happen. Well, then the lady's like a paranormal psychologist or something, and has been treating this girl that was rescued from a cult. And I'm like, okay, I already know where this is going. And the girl comes out on the TV, and she's like doing one of these things,
She's just staring.
staring at you. And I was like, oh no, pause. I paused that movie. I'm like, I'm not watching this at night before I go to bed because I already know we're going off the rails on that crazy train. So I watched it the next day. Dude.
Can I just tell you first? My wife has a distinct fear of creepy kids, creepy puppets, and creepy clowns.
Yes.
Now, not necessarily in the real world, but in the movie world.
Well, real world.
I'm just saying. So if you put any of those things in a movie like that,
that little
usually
girl
gets her
was
pretty
staring
quick.
into my soul.
And I didn't tell her this existed on purpose.
No, and you
Because
didn't
I didn't
tell
know
me
what
the
to be
subject
fair,
matter.
I didn't know that either going in. So I wanted you to have the same experience I had.
I'm thinking that there's the one part where they go to the audience and everybody's in costumes. There's just one guy that stand out, and I'm like, that guy's gonna about to start killing everybody. I'm not gonna tell you what he does later, and then here's this creepy girl, and I'm just like, oh no. And then it goes into this guy that's like supposedly contacting the other side, and then this girl.
I love. There's this guy. There's this one guy who's my favorite.
Debunker.
Yeah, that he's like a magician or whatever, and he's very condescending. He's an asshole. He's kind of cheese when he first shows up, and doing his like cigarette whatever tricks, and I'm like, this guy's so stupid. But he becomes kind of the voice of the viewer, the voice of the audience of this is all fake. I'm going to show you why this is fake. And has some great scenes, and the actor that plays him is fantastic.
He's great.
It's just his mannerisms and the way he talks, and the guy that's leading the talk show is let me have to look his name because I can never say his name right. I love the guy. He's in a bunch of stuff. Where's it at? David Desmalchian. I don't know if that's saying it right. He's been in a ton of stuff. He was in Suicide Squad as Polka Dot Man.
Yeah.
I believe he was in, was it Smile? He was in one of those where he's the one I think hanging on the door or whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's been in a ton of crap. So he plays the lead talk show host, and he's really good in the setups and the designs they have for the talk show era. You really feel like you're watching a talk show.
Yeah, and it's very 70s, you know.
Yeah.
It's got that vibe, and I think that time period is so scary because so much things actually happened. We weren't as aware and alert, but this goes into the realms of some possession things, and I was just like, I'm out.
Can I say?
But I was committed to watching it. But it creeped me out.
My love for them bringing Johnny Carson's name into the show. Yes. You don't see Johnny Carson necessarily,
no. But
they just mentioned him. It made it feel real.
Yes.
Like if they made some random guy up, and now you're watching the found footage. You're like, this is a movie. When they start talking about Johnny Carson's ratings and trying to do this, like one of his monologues, he's like, "Thanks for my first night show. Glad to be here. I know my mom and dad are proud. They're sitting home, nice and relaxed, watching Johnny Carson."
Yeah.
Instead of me. And it's a funny joke. But when you hear that, your brain starts sinking into.
Like, this is real.
You're buying really into it.
His sidekick is great too.
Yes.
Batman.
That guy looks off the whole movie.
Yes. Well,
like,
because
he has disdain for him.
He's like me, and he's like, this is going in a bad direction. We need to stop.
Well, before that is even better. Is you can tell he has this disdain and almost this. Doesn't like the way he's being treated. We need to just
let this go.
Well, no, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about during the show, the regular show.
Yeah.
The way he acts, he's like he feels like he's
Reese Alteri.
He's not.
Reese, I like.
Feels like he's being abused and nobody cares, and that he doesn't really like him.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, why do you keep? He has that look all the time, like, why are you treating me like I'm beneath you?
He hasn't really done much.
You know, he looks like you're being mistreated or whatever. Yeah. You know, and I just thought he was. Yeah, I agree. He was great.
He's so good in this too. I mean, everybody's really good. And the little creepy girl that's supposedly part of the cult or whatever, she was really good in creeping me out, guys.
They have another guy that's like a psychic. It's the beginning of Turo or whatever his name is.
Yes.
Christo. He's funny because he felt like every one of those people from back in the day coming out. And he's like, very elaborate and ridiculous, and I love this movie.
I think this is one of those. I mean, I caught some things at the beginning because you watched it on that first part with me. Like, but just go in, just be open-minded and watch it. It was creepy.
Yeah, the setup
is creepy.
The setup. I rewatched the setup with her because I thought it was so well done.
It is really well done.
It's almost like a documentary of who is this, the rise and
fall. This is a documentary, yeah.
You're waiting for him to get to the end of that and goes, "This is the E! News True Hollywood story of this talk show host," and instead it's like. This is the actual footage and the behind the scenes.
Like,
and what
I would
episode-
watch this again.
Oh, I
It was
would. I
that good.
love this
because
movie.
I want to see if there's something else I could catch. You know,
We don't want to spoil any of it because you
no,
need to see it
you gotta
unfold.
see it. It's creepy. It's not really
It's not
over
scary.
the top
I didn't
scary.
think.
There's a very small blood and gut thing, but
Yeah.
not a lot.
I found this movie.
It's very smart.
It's clever. It's
that
smart.
introduction, what happens.
It has some nostalgia to it.
That debunker guy, everything kind of gets woven together into a really good cohesive story. It's very smart.
It's definitely one of my favorites of this year already.
It is really.
And
good.
I will say this: it's not going to work for everybody. Some people are going
No.
to find it boring and stupid, and they're not going to get it. And I think even more so, people that are younger than us, that haven't lived through the Johnny Carson era and the early David Lettermans and all that kind of stuff, may not connect with it as much because we saw talk shows at that time. Even though, I was born in 74, so I wasn't watching a lot of them in the 70s. I saw those same people carry into the 80s and have gone back and since watched those. So I felt like I remember watching this where new people be like, this doesn't feel like Jimmy Kimmel. They don't look anything like they used to.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, and a quick side note, there's a great one. I don't remember the name of it. I think it's Hanging with Dr. Z. If you want to watch a fun, nostalgic talk show on the internet on YouTube, and it's a guy who's dressed as Dr. Zayas from the Planet of the Apes, and he's doing a talk show. It's fantastic.
There you go. All right, check this one out. It's really, really good.
It is in theaters now.
Yeah.
Late Night
I think
with the Devil.
it's getting a wider release this week. It's on my list.
Yeah, Late Night with the Devil's in theaters now. You should watch it.
Now we go to the number one movie of the week, even though the naysayers are like, oh, why are they making another movie? Well, it's still number one.
Well, I will say that most people are not against this movie because they love the last one. They hated the female one, and I'm going to be publicly...
woman haters.
Yeah. I'm going to publicly state that I love every Ghostbusters movie that come out.
I do.
I do think Ghostbusters 2 and the female-led Ghostbusters movie are the two weakest, but I still enjoy them both.
They were fun.
I think the misstep of the 2016, I think it was, with the females was trying to make it separate.
They should have just connected it.
Yeah, they should have made it. Yeah, everybody was there, but they should have made it like this new series where it was part of the same mythology instead of being a new thing and setting a brand new thing. But I also get they were trying to go in a different direction, but I think that was the first mistake. And then it just didn't connect with people. Plus, you have all these people that whine and cry about everything. But if you don't like it, that's your business. Before we talk about this movie, though, we went to the theater and we were given these fun little things.
That's right.
We have no idea what this is.
We got these Ghostbuster things because we watched it in Dolby.
We have no idea what's in here.
Are you ready to open these?
Like literally nothing. We have no idea what this is. I'm assuming it's a pin of some sort. And I don't know if they're the same or if they're...
It's for ages 3 and up. I don't know if
should we open them both or should we keep it sealed?
Well, you want to... Oh. I'm going to open one.
You want to fill it and see if they feel the same?
It's a pin.
I know that. I think that would fill it. Does it feel the same, like it's the same thing?
Maybe. Yeah, I think so. I think I know.
You want to keep one sealed and one open, or
I'm
going to open them both?
I'm going to open it. I'm going to open it.
All right. What do we get? I think it's a.
It's a car. It's the Ghostbuster car.
Oh wait, I wonder if this is the same. I feel like this might be the same. Or hold on.
Does it feel like a?
I think it feels the same.
Yeah, I think it does too.
So
do you want to open it? Just open it.
But what if it's the same?
So, well, then you can wear a Ghostbusters
I don't
pin.
want to wear. I want to keep one of this I can sell.
Oh my gosh, do you really?
Not really, but
can't you sell it like
I feel like this, and then that's the thing, and then the. Yeah, it's the same.
Okay.
I can feel the tires, and there's the antenna thing right there. Okay, we're gonna keep this in the package, then maybe I'll give it away. So yeah, it's the Ecto 1, or I don't know if they changed the name of it. Anyway, so for those that don't, if you don't know, I don't know why we even talk about Ghostbusters to you, but they did Ghostbusters Afterlife, which connected to the original franchise, directed by Ivan Reitman's child. But he is not doing the new one. He is involved in the story. And from my understanding, Ivan Reitman...
It says there's 1 of 5 mystery pins.
Oh, now we got to open it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I got the same one, though. It feels like it's exactly the same.
Ah, I'm
sorry.
Damn
it. You just made me open it for no reason.
I bet there were finding 5 mystery pins.
I'm going to take it back. Say, hey, can you...
I want a different mystery pin.
Can you give me a different mystery pin?
I'm sorry, baby. I'll wear mine.
Anyway,
It doesn't go
Supposedly
with
before Ivan
Thunder.
Reitman died, they did get approval for this latest entry. And so now we're here at Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Before we talk about this one, do you have a favorite Ghostbusters movie?
The women one.
That is totally your prerogative.
I like oh my gosh, what's her name? The black lady that's really loud and funny.
Leslie Jones.
Love Leslie Jones
I
because
do
she's
too.
over the top. She's like, yo, I'm here. I quit my job. Let's do this. I'm part of the team. And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And she's like, but I have a car. They're like, okay.
And then she's like, and I know you in New York.
And she did. I loved it.
I do love Leslie.
I loved, and I also liked McKenna. Is that her name?
Oh, I do. Yeah, she's great.
And because she's the one making all the gadgets. They had a gadget person in this movie. They could have easily connected it.
I know.
If they'd done it in the other movie.
Well, she was essentially, the problem was they tried to make the original Ghostbusters group with these females because she was essentially Egon. Winston was Leslie Jones, who joined the team and had no experience with this stuff. He just needed a job.
Too much. Anyway, sorry. I like that one.
Him in the stupid. He's my favorite part. Especially when he goes, ah.
At least Annie Potts
is
is
so
useful.
loud.
I know. Annie Potts was at least useful.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead.
So anyway, our latest entry, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I'm pretty much stuck on the original Ghostbusters movie. I just love that original one. And fun fact, did you know that the original Ghostbusters was supposed to be John Belushi and Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd?
Okay. Okay.
Because John Belushi was the other Blues brother.
The Blues Brothers, yeah.
It was written for him, and while he was writing the thing, John Belushi died.
Oh, no.
He said, I was listening to an article, an interview that he did on Howard Stern years ago. It happened to pop up literally this morning. And he said that he was in the middle of typing a line that John Belushi's character would say when it came across the wire thing that he had died of an overdose.
Oh, my gosh.
He immediately ran to go tell his wife or his girlfriend about him passing before she saw it in the newspaper.
Huh.
And he said he ran from the offices to where her place was, and like as she gets there, he sees the newspapers hit the ground with the front page of the newspaper saying John Belushi dead, and nobody had told her yet.
Oh my gosh!
And so he got there to be able to let her know. So anyway,
that's horrible.
Eddie Murphy turned it down to go do Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, that's okay. That's a good one.
And so then it spun around. I also want to say that I've always felt that Ernie Hudson was screwed over. He's never looked at as one of the original Ghostbusters. It's always the Ghostbusters and Ernie Hudson. Yet, if you were to really think about it, most people, I wouldn't be surprised if there's people that think Ernie Hudson didn't show up until the second movie, but he's in the first movie. He's one of the original Ghostbusters. He's just not the original trio that start the Ghostbusters. He shows up a little bit later in the
He's
the
Leslie
story.
Jones.
He is. No, she is Ernie Hudson.
Him.
So one of the things I loved about this new franchise is even though he's on a small part in the last one, I felt this one was kind of a redemption for Winston. He gets more to do. He gets to be a little more important and gets to be front and center. I really enjoyed this new one.
I really did too. And then I'm glad that we watched the first one. I like the little girl, McKenna.
I watched all four of them before this.
No, I did too.
Yeah, McKenna Grace?
Yeah, McKenna Grace. She's such a cutie, but she's so good. And the thing that I think was unexpected with this is at the end, I was like getting teary-eyed. I was going to cry. It was so emotional at the end of this movie.
About what?
Some of the family stuff that happens and some of the redemption of her story. I was like, I was gonna cry.
I will say,
why am I crying at Ghostbusters?
One of my issues with this movie is I did feel like it takes a long time for anything to happen. It like jumps out the gate with some stuff to set up the past for the big bad, and then we get to see them acting as Ghostbusters doing something, and then everything seems to kind of just stop.
Yeah.
And we spent a long time kind of dragging, and it's not necessarily boring or anything. It was just like, okay, I feel like we're getting a lot of setup for stuff we already know. That we don't need this. The setup was the first movie. Why are we still dragging like this? Because they're trying to create a different element. But it's still, I end up enjoying it thoroughly. One of the things I hope, the movie did well. I don't know if it did expectation what they were hoping for, but I hope, because they're clearly trying to set up a new franchise where they can do spin-offs or different directions. I hope we're done with the original cast. Like, I love those guys. I actually would prefer to see more Ernie Hudson and Dan Aykroyd than Bill Murray, because Bill Murray doesn't feel like he wants to be there.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually feel like he wants to be there. I love Bill Murray, but he doesn't look in those movies. He just doesn't feel like he wants to be there.
He's busy.
But I think the biggest problem with bringing them more directly involved this time around instead of quick cameos, it almost felt like it sidelined the new cast a little
Yes.
bit.
Yes.
Not in a bad way, but
And I think we get there in the end.
yeah, I just think
But
it's time to pass the torch.
yes.
You know,
Let it
the
go.
last movie was the homage, and let's give props to them. This time gives them a little the proper sequel they never really got.
Yeah.
Now let's let the new people have it, and y'all can go away. Maybe make a phone call. Dan Aykroyd can show up on the phone. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
answer this question, and then move on.
Yes.
You know.
Mhm. What did you think about the other character, non-Ghostbuster?
Oh, I hated that story.
It was weird,
It
right?
was stupid.
It
You're
was a
talking
little
about
kinda
Kamal?
like,
Talking about Kamal's
yes.
story? I
Like-
love him as
let's
an actor.
force this thing in here.
Yeah,
It was
it
a
didn't
little
feel
off.
like it needed to be there, but I also don't know how I would alter that because for the mythology, it was an interesting thing, but I felt like it was way too.
forced for me.
It was forced, but
That's
that's
why I
not the
was
word. It was
asking.
way too exact to the mythology, ignoring like what's back then is one thing, what's now is something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it felt like, and then it, as important as it was, it felt like it became second to the story.
Mm.
It reminded me of my big fat Greek
Yes.
wedding 3, where
Yeah.
the whole story is one thing, and then it just gets kind of pushed to the side as unimportant until the
Yes.
end.
I agree. Yeah, it's a little bit.
It didn't hurt the rest of the movie.
No, it's perfectly fine. And everything else was good. I think the ghosts were good. I mean, I think now we have technology on our side that helps with a lot of the visuals. I was the main bad guy. I was like, a
You're
little.
talking about the demon guy?
Yeah, it was a little weird looking, but I'm okay. I'll work with it.
Well, I also think, and I don't disagree with him, I thought he was badass, but I think the issue that a lot of people have had with that is, and somebody wrote it and didn't even really think about this, that every villain in every movie so far has had a human connection. So it was a human possessed, or you have the original one, you have Gozer, and they brought back in Afterlife. And the second one, it was that painting of that demon guy. Who was in the lady one? It had that guy that was running around trying to conjure up.
Yeah, bringing all the things into
the
so
you had a human element, and this is a CGI creature that I thought looked great, and I loved the design. But I think
it's okay.
I couldn't understand a word he said.
That was difficult. Yes, I agree.
Okay, I didn't know.
The voice reverberation.
With my hearing, I couldn't understand
even with the headphones. No.
I heard about every other word because it was just too much. Couldn't.
It was reverberating a lot, so I was having to focus in. And some of it, I think, was chanting in another language, and some of it was English. But yeah,
I still love the movie. I still thought it was a blast.
Yeah, and I like we've got all the cast back, and I thought that was great. I think that was important for the story.
I think they did a lot of things too that harken back to the original 2 movies, with some of the ghosts and some of the repeated storyline elements on purpose that made it feel like, hey, we're going to put that exclamation point stamp, like it very much like Kung Fu Panda did.
Yes.
It brought things full circle back around.
From the very first one.
Whereas like the first one felt like a rehash of the original movie with the Gozer and the same thing. This one felt like we're going to bring some of this stuff in a different way, but we're paying homage to part 1 and to part 2, and we're kind of giving a finishing story to these classic guys.
Yes.
But we're still not going to let them be the one that solves it. We're going to let the new cast show that they can do it themselves.
They can do it.
And then now we can move the story forward.
Yeah, but they need to let them do it.
Yeah.
So
I hope this isn't the last time that we see the Ghostbusters. I would like to see where they go next, but I guess if we get another one and it doesn't work, we can show it that the people just don't like it without the original cast. But we also got to understand this original cast ain't young people anymore.
Correct.
So
it was still the #1 movie. So
and it was also supposed to be called Ghostbusters.
Really?
Yes, but there was a show in the 60s or 70s. There's a live action show called the Ghostbusters. And that name was owned, so there was this whole thing where they couldn't do it, and then that's why there's 2 cartoons. I don't know if you know about this. There's 2 cartoon series. There's called the Ghostbusters, and there's called the Real Ghostbusters. Oh. And the Real Ghostbusters is the original one. It's these 2 guys in a gorilla, and which was a live action show as well. Oh. And then there's the Ghostbusters, which is based on this.
Gotcha.
So, and Dan Aykroyd's family were heavily into, and he still is heavily into, the supernatural and ghosts and things, and So this has been his whole baby from the beginning and involvement. So
There you go.
anyway, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is a lot of fun. There is a mid-credit scene.
Please stay.
Slimer's full on display as he should be.
What's
So
your favorite? Where's Slimer?
he's over there. I didn't even think about needing him for the show.
He's right here. Let me grab him.
No,
Hold
don't.
on.
You'll make up the dog, and it's just
Oh, she already woke up.
That's fine.
I
I literally moved Slimer and then didn't even think about needing him for the show. It's fine, dear.
I got him.
Oh Lord, you don't need to bring Slimer over here.
Here's Slimer. He's here.
All right.
Just in time for
Here's
Ghostbusters.
Slimer's butt.
Oh my gosh, he does have a booty.
He's like, ah. All right, Slimer, you sit back here.
Sit right there. Ghostbusters.
Oh look, Slimer got his hands on our shoulders.
Oh, that's so nice. All right. Thank you,
He's gonna
Slimer.
fall. You brought him back here. Now there's no space for it.
He's fine.
That's
He's fine.
Slimer.
He's just
All right.
fine right there. All right. That was
Anyway,
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is in theaters now. It was the #1 movie this weekend.
Okay. All right, babe. Over to you. Oh, now they can see the sleeping dog.
Huh?
You can see the dog now in the frame.
She's
She's
sleeping.
sleepy.
This week's not a huge week. We have the Iron Claw, the Von Erich movie,
You do
which
the claw to
is
the kid.
most excellent. I think it got shafted at the Oscars. It should
Yeah,
have been
that's
some
too
stuff.
bad.
A movie called When Evil Lurks that I've heard some stuff about. It's a Shudder original. I don't know if it's good or not. Wednesday, the complete first season, which I really enjoy. Good Burger 2 is coming to Blu-ray and DVD,
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
which is part of that whole scandal thing of, the same guy's in the first movie.
That's right.
And
That's right.
he's one of the people he's the manager.
That's right.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a documentary series called Quiet on the Set
Oh, you need to go check
on
it
Max that is fantastically horrible, dark, and sad about
I will post a link.
some of the crazy stuff and the inappropriate stuff and the abuse that happened on the Nickelodeon TV sets. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
I'm posting a link.
Some of it's a little uncomfortable because of the subject matter. I just finished it last night. It's really good, but it'll infuriate you. There's a person at the beginning of it says, if you're a fan of 90s Nickelodeon television, this documentary is going to ruin your childhood.
That's too
So
Poor kids.
anyway, that's pretty much it.
All right. So coming out on the theater or on the line?
Oh, like Polar Rescue stuff's going on, but
Yes. So let's go. Hold on. Let me check.
hey ho, let's go.
Tuesday, tomorrow, this week, Tuesday. Video demand and digital, The Legend of Lake Hollow. This is a group of friends who go off to a remote cabin to just rest and have a holiday. I'm just gonna tell you right now, that's a bad idea. Don't go to a remote cabin because as we see here, people start vanishing, crazy things start happening. You're in a remote cabin in the woods. Hello, we've seen that movie. Yes, like you said, the Polar Rescue that we saw today is coming out on video. It's also coming on demand. If you'd like to watch it, find it on the line near you. Polar Rescue, it's the Donnie Yen not fighting, but saving people in the snow. An interesting documentary also coming on the line, digital or on demand. It's Breaking Olympia, the Phil Heath story.
Oh.
This is the story, never before told story of the Olympic bodybuilder Phil Heath.
It's not about Olympia Dukakis.
No.
Okay.
Coming out on Thursday to Hulu, it's a limited series called We Were the Lucky Ones. It's based on Georgia Hunt's New York Times bestselling novel of the same name about a Jewish family separated during World War II who do all they can to survive and be reunited. So that's an interesting one. Check it out. Coming out on Friday, I know this is the movie everybody's waiting for in the theater, A Cat's Life. It is the story of a woman and the cat that she adopts and their unbreakable love and bond and their journey and how their lives have been transformed by each other.
Good Lord.
That's the one I know you're waiting. Okay, maybe you're waiting for Godzilla times Kong, the new empire, where Godzilla and Kong team up to save the world. Dun, 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 from
I
giant.
don't think it's pronounced Godzilla times Kong.
What is it?
I think it's just X.
I think it's times because they're working together, not B.
Okay.
I'm just going to go with it.
That's fine.
Godzilla and Kong saving the world together. Who knew? Unlikely team up. Coming to Netflix, I want to watch this so badly. It stars Bill Nye, not the science guy, the British man. And it's a movie called The Beautiful Game. And this is based on a true life story of the Homeless World Cup. I didn't even know this existed. There is a Homeless World Cup soccer championship that happens every year. There's a special Homeless World Cup foundation that supports these people, and it is homeless men and women playing soccer all around the world. They make their teams and they compete to get to the World Cup.
So instead of feeding those people, they make them play
No,
soccer against it.
they are obviously in homeless shelters and they get fed, but the foundation helps get them where they're going.
I knew you were going to look at it. No, totally not related. This guy got bit in a UFC fight last night.
I mean, everything goes, right? Oh, you can't bite? I would bite. I'd bite off an ear. Couldn't we do that in boxing?
Yeah, he got disqualified.
Oh.
That guy got fired last night
Oh,
after
gosh.
biting him.
Okay, good.
And this guy apparently went and had it tattooed on afterwards.
Hey, why not? Okay, coming to Netflix, a movie called Heart of the Hunter. It's a retired assassin who gets pulled back into the fray because of craziness happening in South Africa. Coming to video demand and digital, movie called The Listener. It's about a night shift volunteer on a mental
Definitely not my life.
helpline. No, I'm asleep. Also coming to Netflix, a movie called The Wages of
Pass that
Fear.
right through.
Okay, The Wages of Fear. It's in the Middle East desert. Refugee camp catches fire. An oil well catches fire, and it's the crazy rescue to save all these people. Which one?
Oh, it's opening wide, but I mean,
Where?
it says it's limited, but it was opening. But
Which
it's
one?
that Saint Center. That's
The
Liam
land
Neeson
in the
movie.
land of saints and sinners. Oh, Liam Neeson. I'm there. I don't even care what he's doing. I will just be
It's
there.
actually an Irish movie. So.
Oh, it's set in an Irish village, retired assassins drawn into a game of cat and mouse. Coming to Disney Plus, a new movie called Madu. Madu is a 12-year-old boy in Lagos, Nigeria, who leaves his family to go study ballet in England, and all of the struggles to make his dreams come true. I will be watching that.
Will you though?
I will. Coming to Apple TV Plus this week, Steve. It's a Steve Martin documentary, a 2-part special, so check that out. And also coming to video demand and digital, movie called Lousy Carter. It's about a professor working on a campus. He's feeling blah. And Lousy Carter struggles to complete his adaptation to graduate. I don't know what's happening. Go check it out. One more, The Lie, the murder of Grace Mullane. It's the tragic case of 21-year-old Grace Mullane, who went on a solo holiday trip to New Zealand and was murdered. And so now this is the documentary about that case. So there you go. I think that's it for this week. Over to you, my love.
Sorry, I shut everything down. What the hell?
I don't know.
I
What's
didn't mean
wrong with
to.
you. Well, I have the slides here.
I got it. It's
You
okay.
can just follow along.
All right. So our giveaways, we got some. Well, I don't think we have a ton of new stuff. We have, I guess, we got still copies of Polar Rescue that we were just talking about. This movie called 1% Warrior. There's that Takaguchi, which I don't think I ever talked about, but maybe I did. I don't remember.
No.
Anyway, it's a martial arts flick. It's not bad. Baby Assassins 2, which we will be.
I haven't seen 2 yet.
I know we'll be talking about that in the coming weeks. It doesn't come out till I think the week after next.
Baby Assassins 1 was interesting.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Baby Assassins 1, don't know if you're gonna watch 2.
Yeah.
Anyway, we still got a couple copies of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, still available, as well as some copies of Wonka and The Color Purple, the new one, not the original. Did you hold up the right one?
The new one.
Okay, good.
Not to be confused with the original.
That's right. Anyway, that's it. Hopefully, we have some new stuff coming in this week.
Okay, that sounds good. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Go find us, HollywoodMatrimony.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Blue Sky, and Hive. There you go.
And if you haven't, the new X-Men 97 series has hit Disney Plus, and it is fantastic.
Okay,
It is a
then.
direct sequel to the original animated series from the 90s, and they are going all in. The first 2 episodes have people just, what?
Okay. Well, I'm
So-
what?
That's right.
Can I get a what? All right. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Peace out.